Hi, everybody. My name is Suzette Vearnon, and I am a purpose chaser. Yes. I am so delighted to be offering you some gems that I have experienced in my own transformation, in my own desire to be more purposeful in my life, in what I do, to answer the call of God on my life, to have meaning in my life, to leave a legacy on earth that I've been here and I've made a difference. For those of you who don't know me, I am a life coach and a relationship solutionist. And my mission is to help individuals. Most of the time, they're high achieving women, but a few cool men redefine what makes them enough in life and in love on their own terms. Because let's face it, many of our terms have been conditioned, have been the result of our socialization, have been the result of us being brainwashed into thinking that we're not enough. So what we do has to compensate for what we perceive as a flaw. And so I really, really believe that by offering you this training, I hope that you will get a firmer grasp on who you are, whose you are, and why you are. And I do want to do the following disclaimer. I realize that all purpose chasers are not Christian, that all of you don't go to church. And so when I make references to the Bible or to God as I know him, please understand I'm not trying to disrespect or disregard your beliefs and your right to believe whatever you believe. I respect you. I just ask you that if you would please just keep your hearts and your minds open as I give to you what has been my journey. I grew up in church pretty much. I tell people, you know what? If my dad hadn't gotten my mom to the hospital quick enough, I swear to you, I think I would have been born between the pews. But anyway, because I was taught Bible before I even knew how to read, it is all in the fabric of what makes me me. And I have learned that nothing is lost, that our purpose is a compilation of all that we have gone through and all that we have experienced. And so I cannot give you me fully without giving you all of that. So if you'll keep your hearts and your minds open, I believe that the nuggets that I share will truly benefit you, regardless of what your faith is. Okay? And if not, I certainly apologize. It is not meant to be any disrespect. It's just that I can only give you what I have. Okay? This morning, I knew that I wanted to be a part of this training. Up until this morning, I wasn't really sure. Shanzi had approached me about it, but I'll be honest with you, I was thinking, well, I don't know if what I have to offer would be in line with a lot of the goals that we have as purpose chasers. You know, a lot of us are chasing our dreams, you know, we're chasing quite a few things. And sure, we want to be purposeful in it, but we are definitely pursuing something, some way to uh, add to contribute to this world and leave a legacy that will leave the world better than it was before we came and make some money while we're doing it. Okay, let's not get it twisted. So I did not know for sure if my journey would really resonate with many of you. But nonetheless, especially after what I've just experienced, for those of you who don't know, just this past November 17th, I answered the call to a bigger stage. And I did a one woman event where I was the headliner. I was everything. And I had never conceived that I would do that before, but I was answering the call. However, from July 15th until November 17th, there was a lot of growing, a lot of clarifying, a lot of things that happened in between to get me ready. And one of those areas of transformation had to deal with my spiritual connection. And I want to just kind of drop some gems on you that truly benefited me. And I was even awakened to it again this morning. And then I told Shanzi, I'm ready. I'm ready to share. One of them comes from a biblical reference. For those of you who are Christian, who read the Bible, and even those of you that might want to Google it later, if you Google it, Luke chapter 22, verses 31 through 32, okay? If you want to kind of look at it, look at the context of it, you just kind of prompted to read it, then that's where you'd go, okay? And it was this, and I was taught this as a child, but I had never seen it this way. And I just wanted to share this with you because it really helped me to get more clear. And it also gave me a context from which to move purposefully. And I wanted to share this with you because I've had an opportunity to observe and to even be one of these people. And so I felt like for us chasers, purpose chasers, many of us are high achievers, we're purpose driven, we're movers and shakers. I felt like this right here is a very key component of moving purposefully that I know I missed, and I want to make sure that you don't miss it too. Okay, so I'm going to read it and then we're going to unpack it. I am going to sometimes look over to my left because I ain't going to fake it. I'm about to turn 60 and I scribble some notes because there's certain parts of this that I don't want to forget to share with you. So if you see me look over here and back here, it's because I'm looking at my notes to make sure I haven't forgotten anything. All right. So we all good? All right, fabulous. Okay. This is what came back to my heart and my mind. I'm going to read it. And the Lord said, Simon, Simon, behold, Satan hath desired to have you, that he may sift you as wheat. But I have prayed for you, that your faith fail not. And when you are converted, strengthen your brother. Okay? And so I started looking at pieces of this, okay? First of all, what Satan represents in this. For those of you who might not have grown up in church and don't consider Satan, the devil, the enemy as this red being with horns and a tail and a pitchfork, right? I want to give you what I feel like is a more apropos persona from which to paint, quote unquote, Satan. I think Satan in this situation represents anything that we've been told about ourselves that's not true. Okay? Whatever beliefs we hold about ourselves that are different from what's really, really true about us. And for those of you that grew up in church like me, the scriptures that I heard was that I was beautifully and wonderfully made, right? The scriptures that I heard were I was the answer to God's loneliness, because when he was lonely, he made mankind. And that includes us as women. And so when I look at the way God, the divine, the creator, source sees me, then to me in this particular passage, and the way I see Satan, the devil, the enemy, slewfoot, whatever you want to call it, I see that as any belief that is different than what our creator says about us. So it could very well read, Suzette, that false belief, that belief in you that's different from me, what I've told you about yourself, what somebody said that they told you that you were stupid, or you were just like your father, or you were just like your sister. That to me represents Satan. It's any belief that you have, whether it's something that your brain created or something, a belief that was imposed on you and you had not lived long enough, or you didn't have enough bandwidth to be able to challenge it. Any belief about you that says you're not enough is Satan, okay, in this particular thing. So behold, this belief, this misbelief, this lie, no matter how compelling, I want to tell you the truth about it. It desires to have you. It desires to consume you. This belief that you're not enough, that you're not worthy, that you're not worth it, this thing that causes you to doubt yourself, compare yourself to other people, this belief wants to have you. This belief that's not even my belief for you. It's not even the way I see you, even when you're at your worst. It desires to have you, that it may sift you as wheat. And so I look up sifting of wheat. And what I read was, when wheat is sifted, it's beaten so that the chaff is separated from the edible wheat, right? So he desires to have you that he may sift you, that he may beat you, that he will beat you with this, that he will consume you, that he will overtake you, that he will beat you with it, that he will torture you with it, that he will make it come up before, right when it's time for you to do something, to make a move toward purpose. It's that thing that comes in that makes you hesitate and makes you question and makes you slink back, whatever that is. And he desires to beat you into submission with it, to have you and to enslave you to a belief about yourself that is not true. I want y'all to stay with me, okay? It's not true. But I have prayed for you. I being the divine, the creator, the one that looked at you and said, this is good. The one whose DNA resides in all humanity. His breath is what we breathe, right? We're even made in that image of him. It is even his spirit that keeps us alive, that causes us to awaken to who we truly are, or awaken to the next right step, that shakes us from our slumber and our sleepwalking through life and gives us a sense of purpose and calling and contribution, okay? But I have prayed for you that your faith fail not. And I want to kind of broaden this faith, okay? And why it is so essential. I saw in this faith as the will to rise, Faith as being your belief in yourself, rising, his belief of you, rising above those beliefs that are trying to ensnare and enslave you and make you feel like you're not enough. Faith meaning that life isn't over for you, that there is a hope for something more, something greater, that even if you are beat up in the fight, that there's something in you, the human spirit, that indomitable spirit that raises you back up even when you can't lift yourself up. That resiliency, right? That thing that even when you felt your most dead, that jump started your heart again. That resurrection power that resides in you, that is a gift of the deity and the divinity, the stuff you're made of. I call it the stuff of my ancestors, where Oprah says, I come as one, but I stand as, no, I come as one, but I stand as 10,000. That kind of faith, right? That kind of whose you are, right? So I pray that that faith, that I've put in you that causes you to rise up again, that I put in you that's bigger, that challenges those erroneous beliefs that try to beat you into submission, that try to bully you and intimidate you. I've already prayed that faith does not fail. And when you are converted, strengthen your brother. The crux of what I want to get to is, and when you are converted, because I see a lot of us, and I've done it, because our faith hasn't failed, as purpose-driven women and a few cool men who will listen to this, we think that makes us ready to go out and strengthen our brother. Because we've been raised back up, because we see ourselves through a different lens, we think that the revelation of that is enough, that we see it. We've been raised up. We have a sense of purpose now. We realize that the reason that we didn't die in the fight was because we're called to bigger and better. We have meaning to our lives. We are significant. And we think that that is enough for us to go out and do the work. But what I saw in this is, okay, there's that faith component, yes. But it says, when you are converted, strengthen your brother. So what I saw in that was, but until you are changed, not just illuminated, but transformed, changed, you don't have all that you need to be able to strengthen your brother. So let's talk about this conversion piece, because for many of us in church, we look at salvation as conversion. But I want to go a little bit deeper, because when I look at the definition of conversion, I'm going to bring it up on my computer, because I went online and I looked up conversion definition. And the definition of conversion is this: the process of changing or causing something to change from one form to another. And when I read that latter part of it, causing something to change from one form to another, I thought about the journey of the butterfly, from caterpillar to butterfly, right? And if we were to look at the transformation from caterpillar to butterfly, I would look at this and say, okay, Sure, I might understand that I, as a caterpillar, have value, right? I may understand that I was made for something more. I may be true to my functionality and no longer questioning my right to be who I am, right? I may have settled that I am a woman. I may have settled that I'm not what mama and daddy said I was. I may have settled some of those things, and that might have been the faith that was resurrected, that I saw that I'm more than what I was told I would be. I was told I'd never make it, but here I am. I was told that I was just going to be barefoot and pregnant, but here I am. I was told by my ex-husband that nobody else would ever love me, but hey, I'm married to the most wonderful man. So maybe your faith did not fail, and you have evidence that your faith has not failed. But the conversion piece, because the caterpillar has to go through what feels like he died by all intents and purposes. When you look at the cocoon, you would say that caterpillar died. That's all that's left of the caterpillar, right? But then something happens in that cocoon that causes that caterpillar to start fighting, fighting to get out, because whatever he is in is too small. He's got to break through. He's getting bigger and bigger and bolder, and he has to break through. And in the tussling and in the fight, he is growing wings, being transformed into a wonderful being. Of course, when he comes outside the cocoon, we see the finished product, but the butterfly is made in the cocoon. That's where the conversion happens. And many of us have not stayed in the cocoon. We are chasing everything that could take us away from the cocoon. We don't like it. We don't like it. In our society, we are very pain averse. And maybe not you all, but I've seen, especially high achievers, many of us are going after things so hard and strong because our high achiever is trying to compensate for what our ego has determined is a major flaw in us. And so our high achiever is trying to earn its way into being enough. That may not be you, but that was me. And I had to confront that. I had to confront that my busyness, that my going hard, that my not really believing that I'm enough, that God would do it just because he loves me. I got to prove something. Because see, I was raised that in order for me to get what some people receive so easily, I had to be 10 times better than they were. And so my high achieving, I had to realize, was a projection. It was a personality. It was an AI for us Trekkies. It was artificial intelligence. It's a persona, a personality that my ego created to compensate for what it perceived to be a lack, a flaw, an inadequacy in me. Right? And so for many of us, our chase is we're trying to run away from that thing that has not been resolved in us, that we are enough and that our gift truly will make room for us. We feel like we got to help our gift. And maybe I'm not talking to you, but I'll just tell you that was me. That was me. And so I thought that, because I have this gift and I'm called, I'm chasing, I'm going after this thing. But the reason I'm going after it so hard is because I don't trust. I don't trust that I'm enough. I got to compensate. I got to compensate for that me behind the curtain that I don't want anybody to see. I got to compensate for that vulnerability. I got to compensate for that me that I'm not proud of, that me I've been taught to regard as a flaw. I'm going to say it again. The me I've been taught to regard as a flaw. That's not flawed at all. It's in pain, but it is not flawed. But anyway, so that conversion piece was a biggie for me because I had to think, okay, so I've been out here, I've been approaching purpose the same way I approached going after a regular job. I've been bringing the same mindset to purpose that I was bringing to my job because I've been socialized that this is the way you go after things. Your resume, the way you dress, your articulation. I brought all those things that I was taught to do into appropriating, achieving purpose. And I learned they don't work. So part of my conversion, mine, has been to put my high achiever in another room. My high achiever is in timeout right now. And God purposefully put my high achiever in timeout because my high achiever was edging God out. Ego, edging God out. So high achiever that personality had to go out of the room. You see, so my conversion was, okay, your gift is enough. Do what supports your gift. Do what supports your calling. Do what supports that. Put your time, your talent, and your treasure into that. Make one purpose-driven step after another toward the illumination of what you're called to do and what you're called to leave in this world, who you're called to help. And don't look to the left nor to the right. Don't look to your high achiever. Don't look to your perfectionist. Don't look to your inner critic. Because those are three personalities that I'm telling you are the biggest fight for me. So all three of those personalities had to be put out. They're all in timeout. And it has been a challenge, a huge challenge for me to just sit in the seat of my calling and learning how to be comfortable in my gift and make steps in alignment with that. Not trying to help my gift, not trying to help God, but making steps in alignment with it. Using my natural abilities and my skills to support my gift, my purpose, my calling, not to compensate. Okay, so this conversion piece. So the conversion is basically saying, Miss Caterpillar, when you become a butterfly, strengthen your brother. Right? Because as long as you stay on the level that you are, you can't give what you don't have. And the reason they were your running buddies was because all y'all were on the same level. But you could not lead them anywhere else but a caterpillar experience. You could not help them dream. A caterpillar doesn't dream of being a butterfly. A caterpillar just dreams of being a caterpillar. So the only way your caterpillar can have a dream of being a butterfly is you have to become the butterfly. And go back and tell your road dogs, this is what you have to look forward to. So when you go into life's cocoon, fight, fight, fight. Because if you fight your way through, you can become a butterfly too. So the moral of this, because I can go with this, there's so much to this and so much in my spirit, but I don't want this training to get too long. But what I encourage you, if you're stuck, if you can't get it right, if you're having struggles breaking through, making progress, first examine if the dream that you hold is God's dream for you. Or if the dream that you hold is, I'll have what she's having. Okay? First examine that. The dream that I'm running after, is it truly my dream that comes out of the divine heart of God in me, that knows that this is in alignment with why I'm here? Or is my dream my ego trying to compensate, and my dream is I'll have what she's having? Because I believe if I can have what she's having, I will have the experience that my soul desires. I will have what my soul longs for if I can get this, right? So you have to check your dream, first of all, to make sure that it is God's dream, because we're talking about purpose. We're talking about meaning. So I really believe I can throw in God here, because most people who pursue purpose, they have faith in something bigger than themselves, regardless to what you call it. God, Allah, whatever, something bigger, something whose teachings make you want to rise higher and be your best self, right? So, first of all, then the second part of that is to ask yourself if you have dealt with that thing. Have you really dealt with what makes you enough? Have you really unpacked that? When you start feeling yourself hesitating, you start doubting yourself, you start questioning yourself, and you start comparing yourself with other people. Because a lot of us are not satisfied because we're so busy looking at what other people are doing and we don't think we measure up. That is a symptom of you not knowing that you're enough. And so once you know, Peter, once you have been converted, you've gone through a transformation, then you can strengthen your brother. Yeah, I prayed for you that your faith not fail. So you still gonna rise. You still gonna be all right. You're still resilient, right? You're still on the path. You have not abandoned the path. That's good. I prayed for you that your faith not fail. There's another piece though, Peter. When you are converted, a purpose-driven life requires conversion. And I don't just mean give God your heart and the preacher your hand. I don't just mean joining a church or a synagogue. I don't mean just reading the Bible. I mean a conversion in how you see yourself. Because that was what the battle was. That was what the battle was. Because I could go into when that Peter and Jesus's conversation on the beach. I could go to that, but I'm not. I'm gonna end it here. Conversion means the process, that cocoon experience, the process of changing or causing something to change from one form to another, from the caterpillar to the butterfly. And many of you are trying to do purposeful work as a caterpillar, and you have not converted yet. You have not settled who you are, whose you are, and why you are yet. You have not settled that you are enough yet. Your way of seeing yourself has not changed. You don't see that your gift is enough yet. You don't even really see what you possess. And that's why you're so busy running so hard, trying to prove something, trying to make it work. And it's not, possibly, that might be why it's not working. So this may be a different kind of training, but I can only bring you who I am and what I have. And this is my gift. So I know that it will bless you. I hope it will help some of you in trying to figure out what's not going right, because you're looking for a technical solution to a spiritual disconnect. You're looking for a strategy instead of being in alignment with who you are. And so I wanted to come and bring a training to just open your eyes, to another possibility, to stretch you, to shake you awake, that you are so much more than the doing and the having of you. The being of you is where your gift is. And when you are converted, go change the world. Bye.